Hi, Katie here. Today's a pretty eventful day for me. 8 years ago, my brother died, and and it always causes a moment of reflection for me as I face what was the beginning of the darkness that I entered into 8 years ago, and the cycle of that, and look what I've learnt over my journey is that for so many years I was afraid of the dark, both literally and figuratively. As a kid, I was terrified. I didn't want to face the dark. I didn't want to do. I always slept with the light on. Even as a young adult, in my 20s, I would sleep with the TV on, so I'd have noise and light while I slept because the dark terrified me. And it got me thinking that so many of us are afraid of the dark. I know that I have been, but afraid of their own darkness within. Like I so remember distinctly when my brother died very suddenly. At a young age, he was 28, I was 26, and I didn't know life without him. And when that happened, I remember that first 12 months thinking to myself, I'm so afraid that if I go within and face the darkness, that I will never come out, that I will just go into the pits of my own hell and remain there. And you know what? In some ways, I was right, because the person who went into the darkness didn't come out. The person who went down that rabbit hole isn't the person that I am today. It just simply isn't. And over my life and over my years, and particularly in those last 8 years on this journey of self-love and self-discovery, I have learned so deeply and profoundly that we must enter the darkness. We must. That the darkness is the way to the light. That is how we get to the place where we can find self-love. And I don't mean that you have to be in pain in order to get pleasure. I don't mean that at all. But for so many of us, we have all these layers of darkness and of pain and of horror in our lives that we don't want to face, but we block out the light because we're unwilling to go there. I know that some of you are ready to face the darkness. Like, I really know that some of you are. And it's scary, and I get it. I really get it. Even in the last 12 months, what I've done in my relationships and what I've done to myself and what my own relationship with myself, the darkness, the catalyst of darkness that was created in my life, that I probably created in my life, has led me to a point where today I stand before you, letting you know that I've never felt more connected, more loved, and more guided by who I am. I love myself more than I've ever loved me in the history of my life. And I hated myself for so long, and I want you to know this. I want you to know that if you're willing to traverse the darkness with guidance and with help and with willingness, then you can come to a place where you love yourself so deeply that the world opens up for you. And oh, I wish that for you so much. You have no idea how much I wish for you that in your life you're brave enough. Is that the word? Willing enough, curious enough actually, to walk into your own darkness, to find out who you become on the other side of that. Because it's magnificent. Who you are already is magnificent. You just don't know it yet, right? And so I wish that for you. I wish that for you that you find a way to traverse your own darkness. Have a guide take you there, if that's what you need. I know there's a bunch of you that are ready. The work is worth it. Oh, I promise you the work is so worth it. And so are you. And my musings for today. My musings for today suggest that the darkness is often our liberator. That sometimes you sink right through the bottom of the darkness. In my experience, I sink right through the bottom of the darkness and I pop out the other end. Sometimes when you think that you've been buried, maybe you've just been planted. That it's dark inside the womb. It's dark inside the birth canal. And we have to traverse that pain and birth canal to get out into the light and be reborn. You are the light. And you're also the darkness. And when we can traverse that, really, really cool shit happens. And I so want that for you. Blessings. People say, in the spiritual world, it's like love and light. How about a little bit of darkness? Light and darkness for you. Love, light, and darkness. Happy journeying. Of course, as always, if any of you feel called to have more conversations about the darkness, you know where to find me. Message me, do whatevs. Absolutely here for those that are ready to traverse their darkness. I'm a well-experienced guide. Much love, much light, much darkness.